the stomach is the rectus abdominis. We're going to know that the major chest muscle is the pectoralis major. We're not going to worry about the minor from this picture. The shoulder muscle we identified as the deltoid already when we saw it on the other side. And then lastly, there's a neck muscle called the sternocleidomastoid, which starts at the back of the neck and comes around to the front. And so it allows you to turn your head. So pretty easy when it comes to the man pieces. So man just really has two major chest muscles, the pectoralis minor and the major. The cat, however, has four. And so they all do the same thing. They're going to adduct the humerus and pull it caudally, so back. Okay? And so the first one we know, because we didn't want to pull this one off, and what was that one? Xiphi humoralis. So if I lift it around a little bit, you can see there's a white line right there. So I'm just going to separate it carefully at that line. Sometimes these muscles, because they all do the same action, will stay pretty stuck together. But if you can just create some lines where you think they should go, that works. Superstar. Okay, so Xiphi humoralis, lowest chest muscle. Next one up on the cat is going to be the pectoralis minor. So the minor, kind of like we saw with the gluteus maximus, the pectoralis minor is actually larger on the cat than it is on the man. And so it's going to be this muscle here, and if I lift it up, I can see that there's a line right in about there. So this one isn't going to clean nicely. The major and minor work very closely together, but I'm going to go ahead and pick at that spot, create that line. And the minor does overlap the major, so it's better not to dig straight down. But like I said, see how it's kind of tearing on the sides. This isn't going to be a pretty separation, but we're going to make a line there so we see the difference between the two. Okay? So Xiphi humoralis, pectoralis minor, pectoralis major. Now this one's a little easier to see. So this is another muscle that we don't find in man, and that is a muscle that starts at the middle of the chest and comes across to the arm. So it's called the pecto antebrachialis. So it cruises all the way across. So I can see a line right here. And this is a superficial muscle, so I'm just going to pick right at that spot. I cheated a little and made a little hole earlier. This one I'm going to lift up on both sides of it, so it'll just stick out like a little handle. Try to bring it down as far as I can on the arm. Help remind me of its name, pecto antebrachialis. Take it all the way across to the chest. So by doing so, you're actually uncovering a little more of your pectoralis major. It sits on top of that. Okay, so that goes all the way across to basically the antebrachial region of the elbow. Pecto antebrachialis. Okay. So the other side of that we are going to separate from the clavobrachialis, or you just learned it as the clavodeltoid. So you can see why I changed its name on the front. It makes it a little easier because we're doing pecto antebrachialis, and right next to that the clavobrachialis. But if you want to remember the one on the top of the shoulder is the clavodeltoid, and you only want to remember one name, that is totally fine. So I'm just going to find its other side. Slide my finger under there and just kind of move it, wiggle it back and forth to separate it. Unless your cat has really tender muscles, then that would probably tear it in half. So pecto antebrachialis, okay? Then the top of the shoulder, again, is clavobrachialis or clavodeltoid. And then the last, one more thing. Up at the neck, I know some of you don't like to look at the spot where the neck was cut open, but we're going to find the sternomastoid in the cat. So in man, it was called the sternocleidomastoid. right next to, there should be a blood vessel right here, and we don't want to get rid of that because we need it. It's our external jugular. Right next to the external jugular, we should see a little strip-like muscle right here, and that's the sternomastoid. Cat also has a cleidomastoid, so it has, again, more muscles than we have. And then one last thing, right on the flip side, so remember we found the lateral head of the triceps, lateral head of the triceps, long head of the triceps. Right on top of the long head of the triceps is a real thin muscle. So I'm just cleaning off connective tissue here. Really just gonna uncover this guy, so you're just gonna see it on this side. It's right there. Oops, here we go. So triceps brachii, long head back here, but on this side, when we're looking at the stomach, this muscle is called the epitrochlearis. Epitrochlearis. And it's really not going to lift up, just as long as you clean off its surface, you're good. Okay, so let's go back over those real quick. So lowest chest muscle, xiphyohumerales. Next one up, large in cat, small in man, but pectoralis minor. Then pectoralis major. And big name, pecto antebrachialis, remember your regions. Then on the top of the shoulder, clavodeltoid or clavobrachialis. And in the neck, sternomastoid. And then on the arm, epitrochlearis. Okay, and then the other piece, just knowing under this white stuff on the stomach, is the rectus abdominis. So the xiphyohumerales sits on top of the rectus abdominis. Okay? So you'll come in next time and do those